please, a round of applause for Gio Gahol. Okay, so this set. I'm so sorry, Gio. Okay. So this next set again is adult romance. So we end welcome again Rachel Coates. So the first story that they're reading from for this set is Welcome to MB Park by me, published by Anvil. Publishers here. Welcome to MB Park
by Mina V. Esguerra.
Yes, I moved back home because I'm so enthusiastic about the economy and my career options here. Should have said that. It wasn't a lie, I just didn't think of it at the time. I thought an energetic swim would get my mind off this, but I was still me, so I kept reliving that conversation with Jonas and rewriting it in my head. Matilda waved at me from the shade. I waved back, but I didn't feel like talking, so I gestured about having to go. Back in my apartment, I cleaned again, took out the trash, made pineapple jam and set it out to cool in little jars I was using as glasses. I scrubbed my bathroom tiles. I don't mind working from the ground up again. I napped at 5 p.m. and had a dream about the interview. So annoying. Roxy had called and sent me messages during that time, but I didn't return them. I woke up 4 hours later and headed to the gym for my run, still annoyed. And outside of my stint abroad, as my career has plateaued, but I don't mind paying my dues and earning my spot on the corporate ladder again. I set my tribal program to include a sprint, and I was running my rage out within minutes. So many things I could have said. I was usually so much better at job interviews than that. I should have practiced. Roxy scheduled this too soon. I wasn't ready. When the 30-minute program ended, I started up again, but it wasn't enough. I needed to beat myself up more, and I sprinted. Eventually, I became aware of him, and of course, Ethan, sitting on the bench usually used by people lifting weights, except he was still in his standard office outfit, and I was just looking straight ahead at his reflection of the huge mirrored wall I was facing. "Oh my God," I said, "how long have you been there?"
Middle of your sprint?
My first or my second?
I didn't see your first. Why are you angry?
Oh my God, you should have said something.
You were obviously deep in thought. You want to go out and get something?
But I haven't started yet. Ethan shifted his legs, bringing his feet in his leather shoes closer to the bench.
I don't work out every day, just so you know. What do you want to eat?
Meat, I said, pouting, and onions. Something really obnoxious and smelly. We ended up at a kebab place right in the business park. They served crazy huge sticks of grilled meat with onions, tomatoes, and cucumbers. I told about the interview as we worked on dividing the meat from the single skewer we ordered. "So, I screwed up, didn't I said. He shrugged.
You didn't want the job to begin with.
But I needed it.
You say you do.
I just really have a problem with saying things the right way, you know? It's like there's a version in my head, and maybe it's not the right thing to say.
But it's the truth, isn't it? Why would it not be the right thing? I mean, ultimately.
Because it doesn't get me what I want. If I just told the people what they wanted, I would get what I needed. Ugh.
Are you regretting screwing up because there's a possibility you would have stayed if the job had been worth it?
I don't want to think about it.
You'll feel better. Scenario A, you get the job and you hate it. What happens after 2.5 months?
I leave.
So you would have pretended, no, lied about being in this for the long term, accept their offer, and then leave anyway.
I have a plan.
Scenario B, you get the job and you like it. Then?
I leave.
Wait, what? Even if you like it?
I said I have a plan. I was starting to get all sulky, but I couldn't help it. I wasn't done beating myself up over it yet. Scenario C, FYI, is this one right now wherein I don't get the job and I'm eating grilled onion to punish myself. Welcome to Scenario C.
This is good.
He said as he chewed his grilled beef.
Remind me one day to tell you what I really think about this interview.
You won't tell me now?
Not right now, no.
Fine. My phone rang, and that happened so rarely recently that I was concerned, and then I was tempted to ignore it. But the caller ID showed it was Ali in Singapore, so I motioned to Ethan that I was going to take it. Ali, babe, I said. So very sorry to be calling you at this hour. Her voice was different across the seas for some reason. For a long time, she was the closest friend I had, but I hadn't actually spoken to her since I got back. One of the things that tended to happen when we both made the trip back home, we kind of skipped on catching up with each other, taking for granted that we'd see each other again once it was all over. But I forgot to tell you that my credit card's due this week and I need your share for the drinks. Right, of course, I'll send it tonight. Right before I left, we ended up going away margarita party and invited our friends. We used Ali's credit card for it, but I promised to pay half. So, how are you? How's the new flatmate? Ethan looked away and checked his own phone, but he smiled when he heard me say that, flat, again. I raised an eyebrow at him, which he saw through his peripheral vision too, and made him stifle a laugh. She's weird, Ali was saying. Twice as weird as you. Great, thank you. I don't know, I just got nostalgic all of a sudden. I don't think I can talk to her like we used to talk about things, you know? And then when I offered to buy her dinner, she said no thanks. Who says no to free dinner? She probably thinks you're so needy. Well, she's antisocial. I knew Ali, and she was a little clingy, but she was fun, and she enjoyed company. She was probably responsible for half of anything happy I remember from the time there. Is something wrong? I asked, shifting gears as easily as if I'd been in the flat with her, arriving from the train ride and a quick walk from work. No matter how long or crappy my day had been, I never really wanted to burden anyone with it. Ali and her daily little dramas always made me feel in control of my life for some reason. Why do you feel the need to buy a new friend? Shit, I'm just really sorry for doing this to you. I just need... Do you have time? If it's for your sanity, I don't think my friend will mind, I said, tapping his wrist. He sort of shrugged in that universal sign of, it's okay, and peeked at me periodically between phone scrolling. And Ali launched into that continuing narrative of the evil ex, a confusing current boyfriend, the monster boss. She was aware that she was making an overseas phone call and gave me the abbreviated version, speaking nearly at twice the speed. Ethan could hear snippets of this and stopped pretending that he wasn't listening. You can't call him, I said, finally, once Ali stopped to breathe. I'm not there to stop you, but I swear, I swear I'll get the weird flatmate to watch you if I have to. I knew you were going to say that, Ali said. And you're going to stay strong? You'll find out, I guess. I miss you, Mom, and I can't keep this on for too long. Good luck, Ali. The phone was warm against my face when the call ended, but I was glad to be able to put it down.
Crisis averted?
Ethan asked. Maybe not, I said. Ali over there, she has a thing for attention and recognition. She'll work for low pay if you give her an award or something. She hates it when she gets bypassed for things. And when a guy who has already broken her heart starts texting again, well, she can't help but want more of it. As a friend, I learned that all she needed was for me to listen to her when she was like this, and true enough, living with her became so much easier.
Do you do this? Figure out people's things?
So, I probably revealed more than I should have. It could come off as creepy out of context. Only if I have to.
Well, have you figured me out already?
I shook my head. Not enough information. Ethan did the same.
I just realized I can't do what you've done. Live with strangers, this is too much interaction for me.
I don't know, I think you're doing fine so far. I said that without thinking about it too much, thinking that Ethan was holding on to his loner badge too tightly as a matter of pride. Instinctively, I wanted to make him feel that he didn't need to. But wait, that was me trying to figure him out. He was right though. It could get exhausting, and my own day's failure crept back up again. The meat, the conversation, and alley diversion didn't take it away. When Ethan and I got back to Tower 3 from the post-gym dinner, we'd ride the elevator together. He would always go in on my right side, and then he'd be on my left, and we turned around to watch the floors light up. When it came up to the 9th floor, he would turn slightly to his right, or me, and give a slight, polite nod, and he would step out onto his floor. So after come up, same thing. My mind was busy, I had to admit, still going over the interview and the many other things I could have said, should have said. Still kicking myself over the inability to articulate my plan in a way that other people could understand. Was it me or everyone else? Maybe it was me. I almost missed it when the elevator reached the 9th floor. and Ethan didn't step out. I didn't catch if he looked at me or nodded or did anything else. The next thing I knew, the doors were closing and the steel box slid up to 10th, and he was still inside. Are you lost? Do you need directions? Do you need to borrow something? Things I could have said, should have said maybe. It was lost in the cloud in my head. Instead, I just started walking, turned right into the hallway that led to 10J, and he felt his step beside me. The hallway wasn't very long, but I felt each step. I'll say something when I get to the door, I told myself, like, do you want to come in, or... I pushed my key into the lock and then turned to him, about to say whatever, but it was a sentence that immediately disintegrated. He was so close, just there. I was still trying to get the words back, but his lips were already on mine. I was like, screw words. So I kissed him. It had been a while for me. I didn't have time to think about this. I didn't plan out if I should play it coy, mysterious, or casual. I kissed him. I went for it, like a girl who really wanted to be kissed. And what that led to was my least coordinated kiss ever, a jumble of lips and intentions, each one half a beat out of sync. I wanted to laugh. It was a little funny. I thought he was about to do just that when he pulled back, make a joke out of this comment about kebab breath. But instead, he paused, and his hands came up to cradle my face.
Just let it happen.
He said, whispered almost. Our lips touched again, whisper light at first. A gentle sweep of his tongue and my lips parted and took and gave. It was that until it wasn't as gentle and it wasn't as light, and I was straining against him and out of breath, and this was nothing to joke about. This was a great kiss. I didn't want it to end. But we couldn't live with lips fused together. I had to like eat and sleep and stuff. And like talk at some point. Not now though. When I thought it could get any better, his mouth sort of swooped down and took the last of my conscious thought with it, and then disengaged. So softly that I was aware of it only when I felt the air against my lips again. The slight breeze came to my face next because he had let go of my jaw, and when he stepped back, he gave a slight, polite nod and walked not back to the elevator, but in the other direction toward the fire exit. His footsteps as he bounded down the stairs echoed in the 10th floor hallway. All night, I thought about him in 9J.